right, we are back again. It's me, Shorter in person. I'm in studio with King Nana.
Boop, 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 boop.
And then we have Handsome Shrek is out in the field, but this is such a hot topic that we had to have him in. So say hello to everyone, Handsome Shrek.
Hello. Sitting here in my bog right now.
He's in the bog. But the topic today, it's actually quite interesting. Peloton, the cycling company, you've seen them all, has a new ad that has got lots of people in their feelings. It's a 30-second spot. It's not long at all. And it shows, for those who haven't seen it yet, it shows a husband surprising his wife. I guess we are to assume it's a surprise. His wife with a Peloton bike. She's all excited, and then she goes on and documents her year-long journey of using the Peloton. And for some reason, that's got a lot of people upset. A lot of people in their feelings.
Yep.
And I want to talk about it.
You know what? I will say this.
Go for it.
The house for the ad looks nice.
Well, that's one thing about the Pelotons is that every ad they have, be it the actual commercial or be it just something in print, shows
Like
very affluent individuals, or it's in a nice, beautiful penthouse, New York penthouse with the glass overlooking the city.
I mean, the bike is $2,000.
It is.
Obviously, you can't show it like.
Can't show it in the hood.
Can't
That's
show
what
it
you
in the
said.
hood. No. No one in the hood is going to buy a $2,000 bike. I mean, come on, man.
So it's definitely marketed to a certain demographic, which again is fine. It's interesting to me because I saw the commercial quite a few times before I heard about the backlash, quote unquote, that it has been receiving, and I never saw anything wrong with it.
I didn't.
However, some of the things that I've read, I can kind of sort of see if I was a person in that predicament. So some of the things have been like, it kind of reminds some people, some women, I guess I should say, who've been in relationships that are controlling relationships where, their partner is making them be a certain way. And so
what?
Oh yes, this is what I've read.
That's just stupid.
Well, no, we're gonna call it stupid, or again, it's just different things that we see.
Dumb to me.
It sounds dumb. It sounds dumb to me.
People are in their feelings. I mean, people need to relax. Come on, man.
Now this is you're saying as far as the commercials are concerned.
It's a commercial.
But that if that situation does happen in life, they shouldn't project that into the commercial.
I mean, is there proof that this is what's happening in the commercial? That a husband is trying to make a wife look a certain way?
Right. There's no proof.
There's no proof. It's a commercial. I got my wife a gift. She's happy.
Mm-hmm.
She's documenting everything. And now people are trying to put stuff together online just to make a whole...
Just making it up.
Making stuff up. That's crazy.
It is.
And then it becomes a whole cancel culture. Okay, we're not going to buy this.
Yes, the cancel culture.
Which is crazy.
Speaking of which, I guess in the market yesterday, which is what brought it to my attention because I'm into the market and money and all that shit.
Yeah, you're into money when you make a lot of money.
Don't tell out my business, King. Come on now. But that's what brought it to my attention. This whole thing is because apparently Peloton lost somewhere in upwards of $900 million in the market yesterday, just from the market fluctuation. And some people attribute it to this ad. That's a debate for another time. But this is what kind of brought it to my attention. What are your thoughts on it, Shrek? What do you think over there?
Well, it was hard for me to hear some of the parts you guys are bringing up. But if you're bringing up the point that people are thinking that the husband got this wife for his wife because he wants her to look a specific way, and yet the comedians are out there going, look at her. She went on a journey from 115 to 113 in 1 year. And she looked exactly the same. She was already fit before she got it. Look, There's nothing in that commercial that says anything about her getting that bike for physical appearance. Isn't there a direct correlation between physical activity and self-esteem and mental health? I mean, couldn't that have changed her life just for the fact that she is not good in social situations and going out to a cycling class and she could do it from the comfort of her own home?
All valid points, my
Just
friend.
Just saying. Well, all I'm saying is, this sounds like another case of the quote-unquote millennials complaining about stuff. But here's what you got to have with that. Hold on, I got technical difficulties in the blog. A lot of things happening around me.
Go ahead, we can hear you.
All right, cool. Millennials get this bad rap for being the complainers and all this other crap. But it's not millennials, it's the next generation. Because millennials somehow encompass like 40 years worth of generation, which is insane that they all get lumped into one. Now, we're talking about generation, what is it? Millennials are Generation Y. We're talking about Generation Z.
Z.
All right?
Right.
Z. And that's from 95 to wherever the new cutoff is. I think it's like 3 years ago. So anyone 23 and younger. So you're talking about all the kids that are online, all the college kids that are very active and making their opinions known and pointing out things like this commercial. Well, I mean, you should really think about renaming that Generation Z to Generation Trollz. Because it's the same mentality that these little kids that just finally grew up. That's the first generation that grew up with the technology to go online and just make little comments just to get a reaction out of people. And now they're magnifying it to businesses. Again, technical difficulties involved.
Sound like you got all sorts of problems there, but I think we got the gist of what you're getting at, and it is technology today, social media today drives a lot of the narrative, a lot of the discussion. 10, 15, 20 years ago, had this same ad been played, would any backlash, quote unquote, again, have come out towards Peloton? I don't think so.
Not a chance.
Well, my thing is, if you're old enough, it's 2019. Since I started watching TV, people who sell products have a target group they're aiming for.
Mm-hmm.
Peloton has its target group.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not part of it, just shut up. You should know that something that's going to cost you $2,000 is meant for a particular class of people and people who make a certain kind of income. If you're not making that kind of income and you're complaining about, the ad is sexist, blah, 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 well, it's not meant for you. You're targeting people who can pay this amount. That's the main target group. And those people understand what they see on TV. Okay?
So it's if it ain't for you, just keep it moving. So kind of like when we say on social media, if you're scrolling through and you see something you don't like, there's no need to comment on it. Just keep scrolling, that type of thing.
Keep it moving because it's not meant for you. Because you're gonna start an argument. First of all, can we afford this? The answer is if no, keep it moving.
Just keep it moving.
Let the people who can afford or the people who've been patronizing the product
Mm-hmm.
and actually use it,
Mm-hmm.
subscribe to it, let them complain. If they're not complaining, you have no right to complain. Because first of all, you're not even going to buy it. So what are you talking about?
What difference does it make to you?
What difference does it make to you?
Understand. Another thing that happens is the pile-on and the kind of like the domino effect. So we have, one person starts it, then the next person starts, then the next person, then it gets to 3 and 4 and 5, and then before you know it, we just have a big snowstorm of negativity and eventually ends up to, hitting them in the pocket.
It's true.
It's Trollz-Pocalypse, man. Trollz-Pocalypse.
Trollz-Pocalypse. So you got everything. Trollz-Pocalypse.
Trollz-Pocalypse. It's like World War Z. It's World War Troll.
I feel like people are just bored and they don't know what to do at home. And everybody has a cell phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
People just want to troll and say stuff. They don't even know what they're talking about. You never use the product. You don't even go to the gym. And you are angry at an ad that you are never even going to utilize. You know?
It's amazing, isn't it?
That is $2,000 or even more. Plus
it is.
taxes.
It's more than that.
It might even take you up.
Plus, I think so. I think it starts at like $2,500 or something like that. Again, plus taxes.
Plus taxes, and then you got to sign up for all the classes.
Then you got to do the classes.
It's not free,
right? I think it's like $30 a month.
So clearly, like the target group is for probably middle upper class,
right,
and onwards.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, look. Let me put it to you in this perspective, though. It's like would you say going to CrossFit is for rich people only or middle upper class only?
I mean, depending on what kind of CrossFit you're going for.
Well, the only reason I ask that is, shorter in person, you can go ahead and confirm this, because I know you were actually looking into it and did a couple trials, but I'm pretty sure it's at least a couple $100 a month to belong to a CrossFit type of organization.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I did it was a couple years ago, and I started off like most of us do. We got a Groupon where I had a 30-day free trial of it. You know, you can come to as many classes as you want. You basically check it out. So I went for that month, and then when the month was up, I actually really liked it. It was a great time, you know, being in the box. And when it came down time to discuss what it would cost per month, it was started at $150 a month.
Okay.
And then we did some negotiating and got it down to about $120. And then at that point I was thinking, you know, $120 a month is pretty damn expensive.
Right. But isn't that like a per person cost?
What's that?
But then again,
is that like a per person?
Per person, yeah. So for me, it's not like a family deal for me.
But with this,
at
least you had a group one.
So looking at it from that perspective, that's 12 months at that price. It's reasonable to say that for this bike, the stationary bike, it's a pretty high ticket initial cost for it. But really, what it is, it's a year subscription to like a CrossFit.
Yes, if you look at it that way. Yes.
If you look at it that way. But how many people are going to save that kind of money throughout the year?
And that's also the initial cost. And then again, we still haven't even talked about the classes that you pay for. Now, granted, I believe...
Exactly. But that class, that you're paying for that class on a per-person basis, is a monthly basis for the bike.
Right.
So, say you have a whole household...
So you want to rent the bike out now? Look at Shrek. You smart man.
You trying to rent out the bikes, the whole neighborhood?
No, what I'm saying is, look, it sounds to me like this is a business opportunity for corporate America to go ahead and say, hey, we're going to buy some of these to promote health and fitness in our own office and set up a little room for everybody. Live classes for you.
Good luck with that.
That's actually not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea, but it's not going to happen.
I mean, you split the cost between like 10 ways. I'm talking $200 for one bike, you know? And my class is for my spin class are Mondays and Wednesdays, you know? You have a rotation. It's not, it doesn't have to be only for the rich, you know? There are ways that you can benefit from something like this because, hell, it's winter. I don't feel like going out to a gym if I belong to some sort of cycling class and it's 20 minutes away. You got to drive out there and drive back, you know?
Right.
Well, handsome Shrek, Peloton is trying to make their money. Okay? They don't care about people, can I do part payments for blah, blah, blah. No. They have the bikes. They're trying to make more money. They don't have time for people trying to decide, let's do this payment plan for people to pay off Nah, they need their money right now, like ASAP. Take for example, you hardly see Ferrari or Bugatti doing commercials on TV.
Right.
When they do a commercial, it's like probably one, and they know their target group. Right? What's the difference? They know their target group. They're not just gonna make a commercial for anybody to just walk into a Ferrari shop. It's like, you know what, I want to buy this Ferrari. They're gonna look at you like, can you afford this Ferrari? Because it's expensive. Same thing. This starts with what, $2,500? Mm-hmm. How many people in America, honestly, can just walk into Peloton and just take out the money in cash and pay off that bike?
I think the number of people that could do that wouldn't do that.
They wouldn't. See? So it's meant for a certain group of people who make a certain amount of income.
Now I think they also have places where you can go and use the bike. I've seen it in the mall where they have bikes there, and then you can come in and do the class there. So I've seen that. So that may also be, I guess, a part of their demographic or a part of their group. But again, that wasn't what the ad was. The ad was
yes. Look at the house. All right. Look at the house. The house.
You love it.
It's a modern house. It's a target group you're looking for.
Right.
They just don't go to they go to like penthouses in New York and all of that and do all those commercials. Right?
Right.
They know their target group. We know the target group. I hate it when people act like they don't know what's going on. We know.
We know what it is. We know the deal. So there's no need to get upset about it.
So trying to act stupid, and because you have a cell phone, you can go online and just be putting up comments and be very disrespectful and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Just because you're in your feelings, so you want to hit their pockets. You were never going to use that product in the first place. What is your problem?
I mean, you're making better points,
You
King.
can always go to the gym. There are so many bikes in the gym that doesn't require any subscription. You don't have just have to pay for the gym. Go to Lifetime. No Lifetime. Lifetime is expensive. Go to Jesus, I forgot. Any other gyms around, they have bikes. You can sit on them. You can use them. If Peloton is not your thing, it is not your thing. Just don't sit at home and just join in the cancel culture and just be going at people. Same thing is what I hate when celebrities tell people not to patronize, like, high-end clothing and whatnot.
Right.
I'm like, my man, some of us have to save money to buy those things, and just because you have an issue with that product, then everybody else should stop buying it? That's ridiculous. You are just being selfish because you are in your feelings. Mm-hmm. Okay, don't come out and tell everybody, boycott this thing, blah, 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 because, they're not being fair to, quote-unquote, black people or this certain group of people, because you are rich. You probably got it for free. Some of us have to work, save money, and buy it. Right. Now, if you buy back the thing I bought, I'm okay. If you're a celebrity telling me to, when they say boycott Gucci, right? Right. Some people got angry, saying using a black face and whatnot. And I'm like, okay, client, do you want to buy back every Gucci I have? Because if you want to buy back my Gucci, I can give it to you. If you give me the money, I'll support you. And then but I already bought the stuff. I'm not going to throw it out. It's just ridiculous. I'm not going to go burn my clothes or burn my shoes just because you were in your feelings. It's crazy. Right.
But again, like you said, it's the cancel culture.
It's cancel culture. It's crazy.
It is a wild. It's like the Wild Wild West. What we're in right now, just random shit going on. Shrek sounds like he's being attacked right now. Are you are? Go ahead, Shrek. We're listening.
There's something he said that going with what King Nana was talking about, that you really look at it though from a social media culture, and I'm going right back into the trolls thing, man. Right back into the trolls. As you're going through a feed, people are more, even if they love something, they're more likely to stop and to see something that has nothing to do with them, that they can shit on, and make a comment on that, and then rather than make a comment on something that they are like, oh, that's really awesome, that's great, cool, it feels good, move on. But if they see something they want to just make a comment on, to start trouble, or, I don't know, just to troll, that's what they're going to comment on.
It really gets to me when people do that, right? Mm-hmm. The whole, let's, like, take Papa John's. What happened to that guy, right? Are we all supposed to stop eating Papa John's because the CEO was a dickhead?
I mean, I stopped eating it because it's trash, but
Well, it's trash. Yeah. But then again, one person's view is gonna stop you from, I mean, that's crazy.
but unfortunately, it's what happens.
Right.
You know,
Same thing.
Under Armour took a big hit when their CEO came out and backed the president. You know, it's the culture. It's the world we're in right now. Somebody's gonna listen to this podcast and say, "King Nana is what an asshole."
Exactly. Separate an individual's point of view from whatever products it is. Mm-hmm. Because you have to realize, besides the owner, there are people who actually work and depend on this income.
Yes.
Now you're saying let's cancel that product so all the people don't get paid, they don't make money, and you were sitting home on your phone and you were satisfied.
Right.
That's crazy. People just jump onto this bandwagon and just start talking nonsense. It's just ridiculous.
Yes.
Because it goes back to affect a whole lot of people. Peloton has employees who build the bike from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the bike might cost probably $200 to build or less. But then again, I understand the marketing. You put a big iPad on the bicycle, you can sell it whatever you want,
Mm-hmm.
Same like a Tesla. They build a car and put a big ass iPad in there, and they're like, "Yo, this is the car of the future."
Well,
so they can.
Tesla's pretty badass. So I'm all for that. But
by the end of the day, people need to stop with I hate the cancel culture thing, man. I really hate it. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that we are living in those times.
And I hate the fact that they tie it to millennials, because they're the first people to do that thing. And it's just so freaking annoying.
Yeah, we can have a whole other discussion on the whole millennial versus Generation X, Generation Y, Z, baby boomers. We can have we could do a whole series of podcasts on that shit. How a group is lumped in just because of at the time you were born or the moment you were born, and that kind of makes you a part of that. And so anything that happens you get labeled in with that group no matter what. And we kind of sort of see that in another way that I don't think people really realize. That's you're kind of sort of doing the exact same thing when you say millennial this, millennial that.
People just need to read and stop.
Get out of here, read.
I'm serious. People need to read and stop going off of what they see on the first headline on Google or something. People need to read into stuff.
Yes.
Like you read one headline, all right, that's it.
I actually posted something on Facebook today, which will probably be our next topic, talking about participation trophies. We can go on all day on that.
Participation trophies.
Yeah, hold your water, Handsome Track. We're gonna do that next week. But I posted it, and it's been getting great comments and people speaking their mind and telling their truth. But the last comment I just read before we came in here to do this started off by saying I didn't read the article, and then made that comment. Oh, based on the headline, this is what I'm going to say. You got to read the article. You got to read what it is. That's the whole reason why I posted it, because I want you to read it and then comment on it. Don't read just the headlines.
That's the problem a lot of people have right now.
Oh yes.
It's not even a joke anymore, because you can just take one headline and make a big fuss about it.
Yes.
And it affects so many people.
Yes.
Because you haven't read into it and you thought, so and so said this, so end of the story. Like, I'm not listening to anything. It's crazy.
Headlines have been made into an excuse to kind of create your own story and fabricate your own crap out of nothing.
Absolutely. Right all up in your head.
And that's what's happening with the country right now. How the media's just throwing around headlines, and you read into it, it's like, wait, I didn't see this. Mm-hmm. The headline and the whole story didn't even match up.
Right.
Or they bring up somebody's name, and the person probably is an unknown person, and because they share a similar name with somebody who's a celebrity, and becomes a big so-and-so said this. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to sell you, man.
And it's unfortunate because we kind of rely on, or we should rely on the news to give us facts.
Yeah, and that's
not
where
opinions,
the news
facts.
is so unreliable.
Right, which is unfortunate.
Because the headline can easily be done, because news isn't stupid. News knows that people don't actually listen to everything. They just see the headline, and that becomes a new reality.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be something, I don't mean to get into politics, but it could be something that they could make a headline that says, Trump has given nukes to Korea. And then actually go into the segment that says, yeah, someone said Trump might be giving some nukes to Korea, and then Trump shut the whole thing down. But someone reads the headline, oh my God, did you see Trump just gave all their nukes to Korea?
Valid point. Exactly. That's exactly it.
People don't read anymore.
Yes.
Just
dig a little deeper.
Right. I mean, even with the news media, right, they're supposed to give out the facts.
Right.
And there are columns where they have their opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Op-ed, yep.
But now, because of social media and the phones, people just don't have time to read. So they just go off with, like, the first 27 characters somebody puts up on Twitter.
Yep.
And then the story, because they don't have time to read.
Right.
They'll rather watch, like, a motion picture or something to tell you the story, which doesn't say much.
Right.
Which is just ridiculous.
It's a shame.
And the country has been sort of... I mean, politicians are always going to be politicians, right? Like, take politics. They just use people's vulnerabilities against them, right?
True.
Republicans, Democrats, actually, they're all politicians.
Right.
They give you a spin story for you to vote for them. When they get in power, they just give you some BS, right? But right now, people are so deep into, like, this whole thing. You see somebody in the street wearing some gear, you get so angry, and you want to go and fight the person. Like, wait, the person you're fighting for, he's relaxed in the White House, he's relaxed in his big-ass mansion, he doesn't care about you. What the hell are you fighting for? People are fighting over politicians in the comments.
Yep.
But you're stupid. You will leave your house to go and fight.
Yes.
When you have a family at home to take care of.
Yes.
I mean, there's win and lose. Your party didn't win, fine. They can try again the next time. Let politicians do their thing. Why are we on the street being angry with each other? It's ridiculous.
you are dropping knowledge bombs here right now, King.
Yeah, grown ass men who fight on the street argue with each other because of what a politician said. And I'm like, the guy is probably in his house making his 6 figures, big ass mansion with his family. They'll go on holidays. You are here fighting with a random person
Just because
he had like a MAGA thing on his car. Why are you worried? That is not on your car. Just drive past him. Why do you want to cuss him out? Why?
Right.
You know,
makes no sense. But this is again. These are the times that we're living.
It's so polarized and people are so distracted.
Yep.
Politicians are always going to use these things against us because they know some people are so vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have been waiting their whole life for this. Like, yeah, this is the kind of person I need because I want to fight somebody.
Yep.
It's
well, I mean,
it's sad. And the part that gets me the most is when religious people get involved. Jesus Christ, I get so angry. I don't think religion, that should be another topic for us. Religion and politics. I think they should just split them apart and not let politics be politics, let religion be religion. Don't put them together.
That was the way it was supposed to be. However. Wait, you got something to put that weigh in on, Shrek? You sound like you're breathing hard over there.
Yeah, well, that's the one catching me here and there. There was a lot of content dropped right there by King Nana. There's a ton of content. So it's hard to comment on which things we want to comment on. Mm-hmm. I'll say this. I'll make a couple of statements.
Okay.
We live in a context-less society. Mm-hmm. Nothing's ever taken in a proper context. You don't have the context. You have snippets of information and snippets from 17 situations put together gives you a whole different story and a different look.
Right.
That's what, unfortunately, the world we live in.
It is unfortunate. It is.
People don't want to read.
Yeah.
People don't want to take time out to read.
Yeah, they don't want to read. And then
they'll read, but they'll read we'll go to your op-ed article that has snippets of situations or comments with no context behind any of the situations or the comments, and it paints a completely different picture than what might actually be the truth.
Right. Right. It's clickbait, essentially.
Yeah.
Clickbait. So you put a headline out there that you know someone's going to click on, and then the story's there. But if the person never clicks and never reads and just reads that headline, then that's the narrative they're going to go with.
When I was growing up, right, I used to see the U.S. politics as, politicians going out, doing the road trips, talking to people, they'll go heaven and earth, go to bars and whatnot to talk to people. But these days, there's more emphasis on going on social media. Just throw stuff on social media, people will pick it up and form their own story. Let's not go on the ground, let's not talk to people, interact with them anymore. Social media is the thing. Because the millennials are not going to waste their time in this.
Back to the millennials again?
I think millennials are the problem right now. I'm a millennial, and we are the problem. Because we have smartphones, smartwatches. I am. Handsome Shrek.
You all right, bud?
Hello?
Yeah, I just muted you real quick because the wind was blowing pretty hard.
Yeah.
All right, well, it looks like someone's coming for Shrek in the bog, so we're going to get out of here right now on that note. As King Nana says, millennials are the problem.
We are the problem.
It's a Trollz-Pocalypse situation, but we are out of here. Say good night, King Nana.
See ya.
Say good night, Handsome Shrek.
Good night, Handsome Shark.
Good night, everyone.